All right, we're going to go over the first problem here. All right, a lot of you got this one wrong because you didn't write the percent out or the fraction out of the total. So there are 19 liver sandwiches. It tells us that, but it doesn't tell us the total. So we need to find out the total first before we can finish writing this fraction. Okay, so there's 19 liver and 31 eyeball. So to find the total, we need to add those together. When we add them together, we get 50. Our fraction is 19 out of 50. Now, to write a percent and a decimal, it helps to make that fraction out of 100. So I'm going to multiply it by the giant 1, okay? And I want the bottom, the denominator, to be out of 100. Most of you probably know, well, 50 times 2 is 100. So that's what I'm going to do. 19 times 2 is 38. Now remember, our percent is always out of 100. So I'm going to erase this real quick. So 38 out of 100 is the same as 38%. Oops, percent, right? Which is the decimal 0.38. Okay, because that means 38 hundredths. That's the same as our fraction, right? Next one, coming down, B. Pretty much same exact problem, except now you have eyeballs instead of the liver sandwiches. And I forget how many, okay, there's 31 eyeball sandwiches. And again, our total is still 50 because we didn't change the number of sandwiches. So again, we need first I need to multiply that by the giant 1. So excuse my not so fantastic giant 1s. And again, 2 over 2, or 2 halves. Out of 100, 31 times 2 is 62. And 62 is 62%. Also the decimal 0.62, because it's 62 hundredths. So I just wrote it as a decimal. Number 2. All right, this was the one dealing with ratios and the discount double check commercial. So the first one asks you, what is the ratio of the discount double check commercial to all of the commercials? Remember, this is the key right here. That tells you the order your numbers must be in. So it says double check commercial. I start with that. It tells me there was 33 double check commercials. All right. Then it says to the total. Well, right here it says the total. So there are 110 total. That's my ratio. It said write 2 equivalent ones. Probably the easiest thing to do is double both of these numbers. So when I double both of them, I get 66 to 220. And again, a lot of people took this one and doubled that. That's fine. You could also just add 33 to 66 and 110 to 220. Also for another one. So you could have got 99 out of 330. Or you could have actually made it smaller if you want, but that's a little tricky because splitting the 33 up gets a little difficult. All right. So going to the next one, B. Suppose the rate of commercials continued for the next 2 games. How many discount double check commercials will she have seen? So we're going to assume it says that this rate is going to continue for the next 2 games. So that was the first game, okay? And we kind of did this problem, started at least. This is the second game. This is the third game. So she watched the first one, then the next 2. Okay, so the ratio for this one would be 99 to 330, or to answer the question, she's going to actually watch 99 of the discount double check commercials. All right, that is question number 2. Question 3, most of you did fantastic. So if you don't need to watch this part, don't watch it, don't listen to it. You can stop now. If so, make sure you're paying attention. Next one. Letter A, it tells you right here, and I even bolded them. You must write the fraction, decimal, and percent, and also draw it on the 100 grid. The first one is drawn for you. So all you have to do is write the fraction, decimal, and percent. And since these are all out of 100, it should be fairly easy to write the fraction. The first one, fraction, out of 100. Okay, how much is shaded in? Well, we got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 45. Well, I know 85 plus 5 more would be 90. 90 out of 100 is 90% because a percent's always out of 100. And then it's the same as 0.90 or just the decimal 0.9 because that is 90 100ths and this is 90 100ths. Or if we simplify 90 over 100, we get 9/10, which is the same as that decimal right there. Going to be 0.55. First thing you probably should have done is shaded this in. Okay, I'm not going to shade it in real perfect. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Okay, they gave me the decimal. I don't have to rewrite that again. Again, you should have known that this is 55% because I have 55 shaded in out of a total 100. Oh, there's my percent. I have 55 shaded in out of 100. If most of you got this one wrong, you put the fraction 55 out of 200 because there's two grids here. Remember, a fraction and a percent, a fraction's out of the total. Our total is 100 grid. This one, you don't need to even use the second 100 grids, so your fraction shouldn't be out of it. Last one, letter C. Okay, 138%. I should know that 138% is more than 100%, which means I have to shade in a whole one of these. So this is me shading in the whole first one, okay, and 38% more. So here's 10, 20, 30, 38%. Okay, so I have one whole and 38 more. So a couple ways you can write this fraction. First one, I have one whole and 38 more out of 100. This fraction must be out of 100. If you did this fraction out of 200, that means you wouldn't even have a whole. That means you wouldn't have 100%. All right? You could have also wrote this fraction as 138 out of 100, which means I have 138 shaded in out of a total 100. All right? The decimal for this one was 1.38 because this tells me I have a whole. I got one whole thing shaded in. Okay? I got one whole thing shaded in. This next part tells me I have 38 of the next one shaded in. That's how I get 0.138. All right? That is the answers to the first part. I want you to make all the corrections on your test and then come back to me and I will give you the one for the retest that you can get full points for. Good luck.